Welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya. If you are just joining us, you're right in time for our second conversation on our Entertainment Thursday segment. I'm Doreen Arange Okelo, and right now nakwambia mwanahabari shupavu wa kutajika katika lugha ya Kiswahili na mzungumzia nani? BEATRICE Gatonye Ngetich. You obviously know her. If someone who watches KBC Swahili news, Swahili reporting, ujakosa kumuona pale. An anchor, a reporter, now a musician. But this morning we talk about her music. She just got into the music space, specifically gospel music, and that is what you want to focus on this Thursday morning. Remember that also we are taking your feedback. Tell us where you're watching us from, how you're loving the show, being the last Thursday of the month, of the year. Our new Friday, the Christmas season, Christmas spirit. Unatazama ukiwa wapi? How is your feel? What song would you even like us to play for you, being, you know, this Thursday, Christmas, the last Thursday of the month and of the year? And even as we take on taking your feedback, you can get us on Twitter at KBC Channel 1. My handle is at Doreen Arange. And there's John Kaindi from Machakos Level 5 Hospital. John, we appreciate you for watching. Anasema wimbo za Winnie zinambamba, zinamshika sana kwa roho. We appreciate you so much for watching, as well as all our viewers. Now to our conversation. Like I mentioned, Beatrice, we know you as an anchor, reporter. Now you're getting to the music space, and specifically gospel. Before I even get to your music, what is it about the gospel music? Because right now there's this conversation, if someone is getting into music, especially if they're starting out, it's just gospel. What is it about gospel music?
I will not speak for someone else or anyone else. I'll speak for myself. Getting into gospel music because this is something that I have wanted to do since I was a young girl. When I was growing up, I was singing in Sunday school. I remember together with my sisters, we would be invited to sing in weddings, to perform in occasions, like tulikuwa tunajulikana kama the Gatonyes. Young girls who would sing and sing and sing and sing. So singing for me, it did not start today. And I have never seen, not even once myself, as a secular musician, because I have a calling. And I remember when I was growing up, I used to listen to Akina Esther Wahombe, Kuna Dawa, Kuna Dawa. I used to listen to Chibalonza. She was my biggest inspiration in the music industry. I remember when I was growing up, kwetu kulikuwa na ile radio ya cassettes. So what I would do, I would pick one of the cassettes and then I record myself the same songs that I'm hearing. And my mom used to get very mad at me because I used to nika kufuta the songs that used to be in those tapes.
Because if you have to record a fresh,
I wanted to hear myself. I wanted to hear how I'm sounding. And then Akina Sarah K came. Those were my biggest inspiration in the music industry, and especially gospel, because that was my area of passion and interest and calling, I would say so. So for me, I would say if there is anyone else getting into the gospel music industry, probably they have their own reasons. But for me right now, I would say that this is a calling that I've had and I've carried in my heart for a very long time. And I thank God that it is happening right now.
In your response to that question, you've actually mentioned the word calling 3 times. And I want us to stick there just a bit, because when it comes to gospel, there's always this notion of nimeitwa na Mungu na huyu amejiita. You know, people would say huyu ameitwa, huyu amejiita. How does this calling, or what is this calling, how does it look like? How do you know you are actually called? Because again, let's try and streamline gospel industry.
For me, I would say this is I did not start singing today, and I won't say that this is a time. I would say that this is the very first time I'm getting into the studio to record a song. But I have been singing in churches, in praise and worship teams, not in one church, but in several churches, because in my life journey, I have kept moving from one town to another. So I have participated and I have fellowshipped with different churches. And in those churches, I always found myself not an usher, not a Sunday school teacher. I never had a passion in that area, and I never felt being attracted in those areas of service. But every time I would look at a choir, that's where my interest is, and I just felt like nilikuwa na msukumo mkubwa sana wa kuelekea katika that side. So I would say that a calling is something that you, every other time you hear God telling you. A few of my friends are the ones who know that I've had this thing in a very long time, since I came here in KBC and even way before. I'm talking about now the KBC family and the people in Nairobi. And people who did not know me when I was growing up. Those are people who did not know where all this started. But the people who are very close to me, they know that I've always talked about this, and I always tell them what I'm hearing, God speaking to my heart. And yeah, so I would say that you really need to know where your area of interest and where mahali penye unapata huo msukumo mkubwa sana. Yeah, where it is for you to know. And then God is the giver of gifts. Yeah. If you open your mouth and you feel you can sing, there are those who can sing, but they do not have that calling. Yeah, probably they want to be something else. Or God wants to use them in different ministries. But for me, this is where I felt that this is where I can spread the gospel. This is where I can share with the world better and best what God has put in me.
All right. You speak so passionate about you wanting to do gospel, to do the music record, and someone would think, "Bono kwanza kurekod kitambo." Yes, you launched, you launched your music career with the release of 3 songs. You already have 1 video out. Where in the middle did you just get to broadcast journalism before you now decided, now let me now start on what my calling is, or what I've dreamt of doing all this while?
I would say that in life, when you're growing up, you want to be something. You want to be something. And when I was growing up, somewhere in high school, we would be asked, "Unataka kuwa nini?" I think the last thing we will talk about that time is being a musician.
Oh, really?
Yeah. During our times in high school, I think people wanted to become pilots, people wanted to become engineers, people wanted to become doctors. Those were the careers people would talk about. And I remember during that time, for me in Form 2, I started realizing I had an interest in journalism, because I joined Kiswahili Club, and that's where my interest even grew even much more. So I would say that about the career that I pursue right now, this is something that I have wanted to do in a long time. But you see now, this is not stopping me to pursue the talent that I have and what God has also placed in my heart. Yes, I come to you, I read news, but I will not read news and say kitabu cha Joshua
news is news time.
News is news. That is work, and it is very separate from now the talent and the area of service that I want to indulge in terms of serving God. Yeah.
Well, clearly this is one of those industries where it requires a lot of your time. I mean, you're not just for you just don't read news. You're not just an anchor. You also report, which obviously will require a lot of your time. And again, we know when it comes to music, writing the songs, recording, studio time, shoots, all of that again takes a lot of time. How are you planning to juggle this two?
Yeah, this is something new that I'm adding into my life, because this has not been part of my life. And,
something that you also love.
Yeah, and I'm very passionate about it, and I don't think I'm stopping at nothing. I'm stopping at nothing.
Nothing is about to stop you. Not even reading news.
Not even reading news, because let me tell you, I think in life you really need to find a balance as a person. If you're a career woman like I am, when you're at work, you are at work. Perform, give your best. And when I usually have off days, I usually have off time. Once I am done with work at KBC, I go home. I spend time with my family. I am a wife, I'm a mother. I am there. I become the best wife I can be. I become the best mother I can be to my children. And if time allows, I would extend. And now I have to spare time for my music, because this is something new that I've also added in my life. So all I need to do is find a balance. Where does the boundary lie in every responsibility that I have? So that is something that I need to get, and I have to get it right, because I am not going to sacrifice my job for music, and I'm not also willing to sacrifice the passion and the great gift God has given me because of my job. So Beatrice has to find a balance, and has to find and know where boundaries lies in everything. When I go home, when my children want to be with me,
it's your time.
Sitasema nataka kuandika muziki, ngoja kwanza sijui
nataka kuingia studio. Na sasa Spirit akikuja na drop kitu your time.
Akikuja, I will capture it and run with it. But then that doesn't mean that I don't become and give my family time. Yeah, because again, also when I was recording these songs, like you say, recording studio time is a lot of time. When you want to concentrate on the lyrics and see how the song will go, that also takes a lot of time, and it requires a lot of meditation, and it requires a lot of listening to what God is putting in your heart. So all these things, my friend, I have to find a balance, and I have to know how to go all about them. Yeah.
Do you feel like this is something that, if I can say, female artists miss? Because sometimes there's this conversation of female artists, especially in gospel, are not consistent. And some would say it's because, I mean, as a woman, just like the way you're mentioning, good number of them are wives, moms, career women. Some even go an extra mile and they are actually entrepreneurs. On top of that, they're recording musicians. So when it comes to this striking of a balance, do you feel like it gets to a point where they miss it, so they leave the music space, and this is why they're being termed as not as consistent as they need to be?
I would say that I wouldn't speak for anyone who has not been inconsistent, because I believe people have their own reasons why they do things at a particular time. But I think it's if you find a good balance, if you find a good balance in everything that you're doing and all the responsibilities that you have. As women, we have a lot of responsibilities. You hear me here, I'm talking about being a mother, being a wife, and being a news anchor and reporter at KBC, at the same time now a musician. Really, that is not a joke. If you don't put your foot down, I think also it's not going to be easy. And then again, it depends. Why are you getting into this music industry? Why are you even singing? Because I also believe that God will keep you consistent. He will sustain you if indeed He's the one who has called you to do what you're doing. So you will find many people sacrifice, or they leave music aside because of these other things that are priorities in their lives. So I would say that if it is indeed God who has called you, He will sustain you. Yeah,
that's why it's very, and I feel like that's why it was important for me to even ask about the question on calling, because we keep missing it. And you really rightfully put it, if it's God who called you, whether you're a wife, a mom, entrepreneur, career, He will find a way to make you get that balance.
Yes, He will. He will. He will definitely.
Because again, you mean singing gospel is not just about kutubamba with a gospel song. It's all about ministry.
It is about ministry, and you saw me launching it. I went back to Eldoret, where I grew up, and where most of the pastors gave me platform to exercise this talent, and even they helped me expose more that was inside of me. But by then, I think I had not reached to that point where I would become a recording artist. So that's why I went back there, where people understand my journey, people understand who I am, and get blessings and even ordain this ministry and this industry that I'm getting into. Because I know it has a lot of challenges. We have seen people get into it, drop out, or even divert to other directions.
Exactly. Now, just picking up from there, we've seen people getting into it, dropping along the way, coming back, not even knowing where exactly they stand. What is the general view on the gospel industry as a whole, and even where we stand right now with this kind of ministry or industry?
I would say that gospel industry is not doing bad. I will not say that just because there are few who have diverted, just because there are few who have taken a different direction, that we are doing badly. I will not say that. I still believe that God has placed men and women who are great, talented, and truly called by God to minister to the world through the music, through music and worship and even praises. So I would say that we are strong, we are doing well, and I'm getting in here with a lot of, I would say that I'm getting into this industry with a clear mind of what I want to do and the gospel that I want to preach. I want to be an original person. I don't want to sound like my mentors, because God has called me. I believe He has called me to follow a particular path. There are different kind of music, there are different kind of songs, and the problem you find with people who really follow mentors so much, they end up sounding like them. But I want to be an original, because I understand the calling that I have. Yes.
I like that you understand your calling, and you constantly keep referring to it, because I mean it's very important when you talk about gospel and tie to the calling. All right. You talk about your mentors, and even during the launch, you had the likes of Ruben Kigami saying that they will support you.
Yeah.
You have mentioned the likes of Angela Chibalonza, people that you looked up to, Kina Sarah Kay and the likes. When you look at Beatrice, someone who's getting into this industry, into the gospel industry, after some time, or even after time of being in this space, what would you like people to remember you for? I mean, what are you bringing different into gospel that wasema nye, hey, labite, nalikuwa katika industry. Ama vile bado uko kwa industry. What's so unique? What is the unique or so unique about you as a gospel musician?
I would say that my lyrics, when you listen to Wastahili song, the lyrics that you find in there, those are words from the Bible. I will draw my inspiration from the Bible. I am bringing gospel music that when you listen, you get healed, you get encouraged. If you wanted to give up, you move on. You say no. Yeah? So I'm bringing worship, I'm bringing praise, I'm bringing every other kind of music with lyrics that will touch your life. You will come to my YouTube channel and your life will change. I'm focusing on that I want someone's life to get better out there. If you wanted to give up on God, you trust believing in God again. That is my focus. That someone will come, not just get entertained, but get healed, get encouraged, and move on. Yes.
Wasanii, ndo maana muziki ya gospel si about usanii na entertainment, it's all about ministry. Who are you touching? Who are you healing? Who are you encouraging? This is also what Beatrice is just trying to tell us here when it talks about her music. Let's talk about Wastahili, given this is the song that's already out there. Tell us the concept, the idea behind this song.
I would say that when I first wanted to step into that studio to record a song, and when I was thinking about what I want to speak, I didn't want to ask God for anything in this particular song. I didn't want to request for anything. Oh, nipe maisha, nipe nguvu, nisaidie. I did not want to ask God for that. I looked at my life, where Beatrice has come from. I looked at the journey of life, and the only thing I could see is the way God has held my hand all through in my life. I have had moments in my life I almost gave up, but God still held my hand. I have been in situations that I did not know how to get out of them, but God helped me to get out of them. And this particular song, I just wanted to tell him that he is worthy, that he is so much worthy, and there is nothing that can describe him rather than that he is worthy. He's the only God. So I wanted to start my ministry with that. I wanted to start my music career with that. Just exalting God and telling him how great he is, because that's what he's been in my life.
I mean, you launched 3 songs because you already have 3 songs. We have Mtakuinua and Hakuna Kama Wewe.
Yes.
What was so peculiar about Wastahili? Yes, you've told us the concept and the idea, but you could have decided to also start with Hakuna Kama Wewe, you know, to have the video of that. What was so peculiar about Wastahili that you just felt, by the way, tunaanza na video ya hii kwanza? Hizo zingine kidogo tu.
Actually, the 3 songs came at about the same time, because these are songs that I recorded in a span of 1.5 months. And if you listen to these songs, because they will be coming your way very soon, especially Hakuna Kama Wewe and Ninakuinua. These are songs just that are just exalting God. Ninakuinua is more of thanking God for what he has done in my life, for healing my life, for doing what he has done in my life. But I felt that Wastahili was more of exalting God and not even telling him mambo mengi, just telling him, God, this is who you are, and this is who, like, I wouldn't say that Ninakuinua, it's not a very good song, or Hakuna Kama Wewe. Kwanza Hakuna Kama Wewe is a praise song.
It's a praise. You know, this one is more worship, laid back.
More worship and laid back. I think God is the one who helped me just to say that wewe enda na hii wimbo kwanza.
Enda kwanza na hiyo.
Songa na hii yenye inasema mimi ni nani.
So basically, you know, for you it was more of just looking at also what God has done for you, given what you've told us, the journey he has taken you through as a person, and this is why you felt, let's start with Wastahili.
Oh yeah. I looked back at my life, my friend, and Maybe this will be a story for another day.
You know what we'll do? We have 2 minutes to go to the break, and I know you have that story, because I mean, I also feel like we want us to get practical. I mean, when you talk about gospel artists releasing most of their songs based on a background, it's not just releasing songs because I feel I need to release this song, because I feel it's a story. Let's be practical about it. This is the story of my life. I want it to touch someone. I want it to heal someone, as you said. I want it to encourage someone. So when you come back from that break, I'd want you to tell us a bit of that story.
I will.
Just a bit of that story for us to tie it and make us understand what was so interesting about this song. What was so peculiar about this song? I mean, when you say that it's supposed to heal me, in what ways is it supposed to heal me? If I'm supposed to look at God as a creator, and the one who can help me to do things in life, in what way? Because of your story, right? Time for that break. When we return, plenty more of this conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya, and I'm still on set by mtangazaji tajika wa lugha ya Kiswahili, Dabite. But anyway, when you went on break, you're talking about your story, and I want you to tell us a bit about your story, that basically what God has done for you, that even while you felt of all the songs that I've already written and even released, indo ya kwanza nitaanza nayo.
When I was looking back at my life, when I finished high school is the time I was discovering who I am and exactly who Beatrice is, because I had just finished my high school. And then while that is happening later, when I just joined college, then post-election violence happened. I was in the middle of it.
That's in Eldoret?
That is in Eldoret. That's where everything went like this. My parents didn't know what to do. I was there, I'm trying to pursue a career in journalism. I had to stop. I found myself in Meru because I personally left my family in Eldoret, and I had a family pastor, friend of mine in Meru. I went to live with him. While I was there, I would not just sit and serve in the church. I needed to do something. So I found a job at some printing factory, kale ka print zile papers, zile zinitangwa nini print marisiti. From morning to evening, I would go there to kupiga number. Those receipts used to have numbers. You remember, not these ones, the VAT squeezing.
Yeah.
Zile za kitambo zenye ulikuwa unaenda unaandikiwa kila kitu, hizo receipt zilikuwa na namba. So every morning I would wake up, walk from Kinoru Stadium where I used to live to downtown in Meru to go, and hiyo ilikuwa kazi yangu kutoka asubuhi like this.
At this point you've stopped college a bit.
I stopped because of post-election violence, and where I found refuge is a pastor friend of mine, of ours, who invited me, and I took refuge in his house. Then he helped me get that job. I used to get paid 4,000 bob every month. So I would
let me tell you.
Yeah, I used to earn 4,000 bob.
You've just reminded me something.
Number from morning to evening for a whole month, you get 4,000 bob.
Yeah.
Then in the middle of that, the peace is coming back in the country. Then I got an opportunity with Sayare TV and radio. They are like, come serve with us. Yeah. While I was starting school, I started volunteering in Sayare. So I think the bishop remembered, there was a kagal here, so he looked for me. So I went and I told him, Bishop bana, me ata shule sijamaliza. As much as I came here, I can't promise you much. But if you give me an opportunity and give me time, I'll prove to you that I can actually do what? I can serve. So after that, he gave me a scholarship. I went to Tanzania, did my diploma, then came back. Then after that, God blessed me with my firstborn son. My firstborn son is hearing impaired. I am a new mother. It was not easy. It was not easy having a child who will not speak. You don't know how to communicate with this boy. You don't have no idea even where to start. And God gave me grace. I would say God gave me grace to accept the situation that I was in, because I was very young and I did not even understand what this was all about. God has taken me through that journey with my son. understanding, and that's why you see me very passionate of becoming a champion of people with hearing impairments, because I know and I relate with challenges of people living with disability. I have one in my house and I know what that means. God has taken me through that journey, and I think I will not regret that God gave me this child, that God has taken me through this journey. It has taught me a lot of things, a lot of patience, a lot of trusting in God, bringing up this boy. And then it has not been, I will not tell you that it has been an easy journey. If you do not have a person living with this disability in your house, you will not relate with what I'm talking about. It has not been easy. God has taken me through that. Yeah, God has watched me mother that boy until to a place where he is right now. My husband was very sick of COVID. I almost lost my husband in sometime in April. In oxygen.
That's
my husband
last year?
Yeah, my husband was not eating. My husband was not moving. His lungs were 86% damaged. And COVID is a very lonely disease, my friend, because I was the only one who was going to see him, and the family members who would come would only probably come once a week. Thank God for my employer, because they allowed me time off to watch over my husband. That was a very, very trying time in my life, because I would sit there, watch my husband, a man whom I know who makes a lot of decisions. And I remember on a Wednesday, in the time he was sick, I asked him, Dad, can we move you to a different hospital, because I don't think you're improving here. Then he told me, just do what you want. At that point, I knew my husband is incapable of making any decision, and I felt that I was losing him. But God restored his life. God restored his lungs. When I look back at what some of these things that I'm mentioning to you that God has done to me, I know what it means. God touching your life, God healing your life. And when I speak these things in the lyrics, they have happened to me.
Oh, wow.
They have happened to me.
See me getting emotional.
Yeah.
And this is just because, you know, sometimes people imagine that when they see people on screen like that, looking so glammed up, speaking good English or good Swahili, I will make it. People have stories behind the beautiful faces and the good smiles.
Very, very, very. Sometimes you come here reading news, but you're carrying a lot in your heart. You're carrying a lot, but you have to smile to that viewer and make sure they receive that news in the best way possible. Yeah. But I wish someone else would also tell their story. It is not as beautiful and rosy as it always looks on the screen. There are very touching stories down here. We are normal human beings. We go through these things. Yes, we go through these things. And by the way, that time my husband is sick, all that, I never sikushikwa na hiyo ugonjwa. And people were asking me, are you going to that hospital to take care of him? And I'm like, huh? What am I supposed to do? But he's my husband. I will be
supposed
there
to take
with
care of him.
I'll go wear those gloves, attend to him as much as I can. I would go to the hospital in the morning and I would sit there until 10 p.m., then leave. Thank God for the pass, for the journalism passes, because we had curfew. I would extend and still get home safe. Yeah, so when I'm telling you that I have seen God in my life, I have seen him touch my life, I have seen him help me walk through this journey of life.
Wow, now it
so
makes
I'm
sense.
speaking things that God has done for me. This is a testimony. I know he has done it for me.
So this is why when you say this song is supposed to be a healing, more of when you listen to it, it's not just about listening to the lyrics and the melody. It's about to heal you.
Yes, that's what I said. I don't want you just to get entertained, but get healed, get encouraged that indeed God can change your situation, that indeed God can lift you from one place and put you at a place that is very good.
True.
Yeah.
True. All right. As we finish this conversation, Beatrice, what next for you as an artist? Yes, we talked about 2 songs that you're yet to release. At least one is already out, and now we understand fully the whole idea of you becoming a gospel artist. Sasa tuko kwa media now, you know, let's just do this thing because we are here. There's actually a story behind you, you know, now choosing to actually, all this while, I wanted to sing. It has been a dream, a gift. This is the time, this is the moment. So what next for you as an artist?
If you managed to watch Ruben Kigame, who was my guest artist and my guest of honor during my lounge, he came and saw what I had brought on the table. You have 3 songs, girl, and you're just starting. And he promised to hold my hand, ensure that the rest of the production to feel that album is done. So I would say I have a great mentor who is going to hold my hand. This is a new industry. I'm trying kujua kona ziko wapi, barabara ziko wapi, you know, and I found someone who can lead me and show me the way. And someone who has accepted to hold my hand. He even gave me a collab already.
Imagine,
waiting with Ruben Kigame, the legend. Hey, I mean, see God. I mean, it's amazing. So I would say that the future hapa mbele,
it's very bright.
It is very bright. It is very bright because, like I said, I am clear, and it is clear in my mind what I am getting into. Because I have ninajua kile ninafanya na ninajua kile ninawaletea. I'm not just bringing you entertainment.
This is more than entertainment.
I am bringing
Where can
you
people get your contact, your music, your content, your music? What's the YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, visit BEATRICE Gatonye Music. BEATRICE Gatonye Music.
That's on YouTube.
That is on YouTube. Go click on that button, watch Wastahili song, and Nina Kuinua will be coming soon. Probably in a month's time or 2 months' time. I'll be shooting that video, na hakuna kama wewe, and that would be the story going on. That would be the story going on. I don't want just to kukuletea wimbo moja alafu basi kwendio hivo, because there is so much that God has put in my heart that I want to share with you. Yeah.
Very inspiring, Beatrice. I mean, I just marvel at the fact that it's not always about the beautiful faces and the good English and Swahili that you see on your screens. People have gifts and talent that are yet to be tapped. And when they choose to tap them, there's a story behind it. That's what we need to be focusing on, this story.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
I have been.
You want to finish this? I
want to finish.
But that was a very informative
conversation. Let me finish by saying something. If you believe and you know there is something in you, God has given you a talent. A talent that you know you can share with the world. Please don't sit with it. I know God's time is the best, but please.
Director was I can't believe this anyway, but this is how we bring this particular conversation to a close. I've been speaking to BEATRICE Gatonye, news anchor, reporter, now a musician of singing the gospel music. Very beautiful story. I mean, just go to her YouTube channel, BEATRICE Gatonye Music, follow her, listen to her song, and even the 2 and the more that are coming up. Support her music, music of healing, inspiration. That's all you need, I mean, in this time of Christmas and even beyond. But good morning, Kenya Jaisha. We have a very interesting conversation coming up after this. Have you heard of tattoo modeling? Stroke intertwined with music. That is what is coming up next. Actually, this is a conversation I had with Wakenya Njoki, who is a tattoo model, intertwined with a musician, and she's going to be talking to us about all that. Singing in Kenya, singing while in Kenya, living in the US, doing all that, as well as just modeling, all tattooed up. That is what is coming up next. But before we have that conversation, again, I'd leave you with BEATRICE Gatonye's latest song. Listen in as we await that conversation coming in a bit.